I wanted to be successful. I wanted to be the best out of anybody, no matter what. It was summer, spring, winter, fall, it didn't matter. I was trying to play as much as I could. Maybe I was just naive as a kid that I just thought I was going to be there.
He'd always been this competitive. He'd always been somebody that give you 110%.
Right side, slides it through, Boyle scores!
If they wanted him to kill penalties, he was killing penalties. If they wanted him to go out there and play hard, he was going to be able to do that.
Boyle to the net, scored!
If you can't get motivated to make that team be successful, it's something wrong with you. We are in Hingham, right outside Boston, Massachusetts, about 15 or 20 miles south of the city. My hometown where I grew up. This is a great hockey town just because of the high school leagues, there's junior leagues, there's colleges. Because of the Bruins in the 70s, and Bobby Orr came in and he was just a hero in this town. All my buddies played. Kids I knew were playing hockey, I played, and that's how I made a lot of friendships. We are now on our way to see my parents' house, where my little brothers and sisters and a few of my older siblings are waiting patiently. Hey, where are they going? Hey, get back here! Hey, say hi. Hi. So that's my older brother Chris and my younger brother Timmy in the car. It'll get confusing, but just try and stay with it. So here we are. We're at the home. Dad, door's already open. Door's already open. Hey, Pop. Hello. Hi, guys. Say hi to the cameras. It's my little brother Andrew. This is my sister Julianne. It's her boyfriend Mitch.
Is the dog here?
Yes.
Come here, Michael. Hi.
I'm here with my mom. We'll get right into it. We'll get started. Mom, what kind of kid was I growing up?
You're a big kid. You were 10 pounds when you were born, and by the time you were 2 years old, you were wearing 4-year-old clothing. You were very agile. You walked early. You talked early. You were maintenance, though. You were high maintenance. Well, Brian was involved in so many things. I think he played every sport there was to play because he wanted to play so much, and he wanted to join everything. In kindergarten, he had the lead in the play because he had that personality that he wanted to be on top. He wanted to win, he wanted to be in charge, he wanted to be quarterback. When you're much bigger than the rest of the group, you kind of have to keep your eye on so that other people know, no, he's not 15, he's 10 also. Plus, he was very gifted and talented. And so he was maintenance. I think that he was someone that had to be molded, and he was a prize, like they all are.
I'm from a very unique family. I'm one of 13. Put the little guys on the ground. Catherine, you can sit on the couch. Jennifer, Artie, Michelle, Chris, Brendan, Catherine, myself, Joseph, Julianne, Gabrielle, Timothy, Nicholas, Andrew. Go sit down. For me, it was the only thing I ever knew. Like I said, you can do whatever you want to do, but you can't embarrass me. We got everyone?
My mom dressed him up as a geisha girl one Halloween. Yeah, that was fun.
Must have been an ugly girl. He was really tall.
Yeah, growing up, he grew out of clothes really fast, so a lot of his pants looked like he was expecting a flood.
Rooting us on, no matter if it was a sport or if one of our friends even was in need, he was there. You know, my good-looking younger brother, who all of my girlfriends were like gaga over. There was a couple of them that didn't have dates to certain dances that we would go to, and Brian always stepped up to the plate, whether it was, you know, I like to think it was for unselfish reasons, but
Brian's a great host. He's always willing to let us come down whenever we want to go and see him. You know, sometimes maybe one or two of us take advantage of the opportunity, but who wouldn't? I mean, it's New York and it's a lot of fun, and it's great to go out and see him and support him. And
Brian, you know, he's always been the same. We're very proud of what he's accomplished, but it hasn't been a change. I think that might be something that, you know, is most impressive about him. He's very, very positive of who he is and what he believes in, and he always has been that way.
I think there's similarities between being a good brother and being a good teammate because, I mean, depending on where you rank in the order, especially in my family, I'm right in the middle. You get some younger, some older. You got to show the respect to the older ones and to the younger ones. When the younger ones step out of line, you got to be firm but not too tough. Let them know when they do something well, you compliment them and try and lead by example if you can.
We're headed to Pilgrim Skating Arena. This is where it all began for me as a hockey player.
Brian was a very active kid. He was always shooting the puck in the basement, breaking the walls, always. Draft day was pretty remarkable. We went to 25, 30, 35 of us were there.
I bet it was more fun up to the point until I got drafted for everyone else than it was for me. I kind of wanted the day to be over.
He was very calm through the whole thing, and we had an indication that he could get drafted in the first round, or it might be the second. We didn't know, and then they start going through the names. 25 comes up, and it's like, oh, geez, is he ever going to get called?
It's a long time. He's sitting there, sweating.
It looked as if LA was going to take Brian.
I think they said just from St. Sebastian's, and I popped up. My dad was next to me, my mom was next to him.
Scored last night for his AHL team. In front goal! Oh, is he having a debut?
Very exciting, just to see him drafted. And then we all went down, had pictures taken with him, and we have a lot of those pictures around. It was a proud moment, because you can never take away the fact that he was drafted in the first round.
We're headed to Pilgrim Skating Arena. This is pretty much where it all began for me as a hockey player. This is my dad.
Yeah, it's good, huh?
We are 75 Recreation Park Drive.
This is actually where I was 3 years old playing in a league in this rink right here in the middle.
And he took his position seriously. As a matter of fact, the puck would go in the corner, he'd stand in front of the net and say, Brian, go in the corner, get the puck. 3 years old. He goes, no, I'm the center, I stay right here.
The first game I played D, he said stay on the blue line, so I didn't move.
Brian, when he was probably 2 years old, went into the basement and put on all the hockey gear to perfection. He came up and said, I want to play hockey. I looked at him, I go, okay, let's do it. And I just couldn't believe it when I put him down. He just skated away. Brian was always the biggest kid, so that when Brian was 5 years old and he would hang out with the 5-year-olds, all the mothers thought he was a bully because he looked like he was 10 years old. And one of the problems he always had is he was always a giant among little people. And he had to really be passive because if he just did anything like this, the kid would go fly.
Dad, how did hockey become a Boyle family thing?
It started when I was playing high school, I guess. I played high school hockey. Then as we had our family and our kids started growing up, I got a couple of Brian's older brothers involved in hockey, and they loved it. But Brian had gotten into hockey because his older brothers were in it. He had a gift. So I said, hey, let's see where this goes. He loved it so much. When he was 18 months old, in order to calm him down and make him quiet, he was put in his high chair. And he'd sit and watch these reruns of the Bruins tape. And he would watch it over and over and over again. And in 18 months, he would just say, score! And always wanted to be a center. He always did. When he was 5 years old, he'd get into the face-off circle and he'd do the little, what he does now, looks around, talks to everybody, has a question for the ref, and then gets in. And everybody goes, what is he doing? Well, he learned that on TV.
This is the pro shop. I'd beg my father for money to buy hockey sticks and whatnot. I spent my whole time in there trying to get a new stick or a different kind of stick, but it was pretty funny.
Brian was a very active kid. He was always shooting the puck in the basement, breaking the walls, and always. When he was about 5 years old, I went to work, and I had built a sandbox out in the backyard, probably 60 feet away from the house, and we had a big, huge yard with nice Anderson double-pane windows. And Brian decided to take my golf club out of the garage and see if he could hit it out of the sand. Well, he hit it so well, it went right through the Anderson windows into the dining room. And my wife called the house, said, your son just hit a golf ball right through the window in the dining room. And I said, where was he? She said he was in the sand trap. I go, that's a great shot. I couldn't believe it. And she was so mad at me. But I come home, give him a pat on the back. Nice job. Outside of the hockey, Brian was very active. Loved baseball. Loved any sport, anything with a ball. Would play basketball with the families. We have a Thanksgiving Day football game where now it's grown to be 22 people playing, so we have a full squad on both sides. I was brought up by my dad to either work or play sports. I had to do one or the other. I brought that to my children. If you're not going to play sports, and that's every season, then you're going to work. They chose to play sports. Good choice.
Easy choice.
And if they were good enough, we followed the opportunity. And if it meant sacrificing vacations, or if it meant not such a good car, or whatever, that's what it took. Because the joy we got out of seeing them compete and them play is way beyond the material stuff we could have had. And it's taught them life lessons. Athletics teaches them life lessons, way beyond just the fun of the game. People say things a lot about their kids and how good they are, and I believe in my heart, you don't know anything until a kid hits puberty. At that point, if the kid still has the skill and still has the interest and continues to get better every year, then maybe there's a chance. I don't care how good you are, it goes beyond good, it becomes a real heart thing. So if you don't have the heart to go with the skill and the dedication and the work ethic, you're not going to make it. Kids give up. I mean, they just can't maintain that incredible pressure to get better. They just can't. They give up like most people do. And that's why these guys are so special, because they keep going.
Heading over to meet Coach Kavanaugh now at Conti Forum.
We got the whole crowd.
Yeah, we got a crew here. Come out here for the home games. Crowd is reaching over, giving us high fives.
When I heard that Brian was coming back to the East Coast and to play in New York, I was thrilled. I had been praying for him to come to the East Coast.
I was on a beach in Cape Cod, and I got the call from my agent. He said, New York's going to call you, they traded for you. I was really excited. First thing that went through my head was, this is going to be great.
Boyle back into the zone, right side, that backhand, he scores! Brian Boyle's backhand, and the Rangers lead it 4-2.
I have a good chance here to do something and start fresh. I had to do it. I still had to prove myself, and I didn't have the greatest year I wanted the first year in New York. I still had a lot to prove going into last year, and if there was a place to do it, I wanted to do it. But yeah, we're headed over to BC now. Heading over to meet Coach Kavanaugh now at Conti Forum. I didn't know what to expect when I got here. It was a dream of mine. I always wanted to do. I always wanted to play here. What do we got here? I think it's the Stanley Cups.
So we hope to get Brian up here with a Stanley Cup.
Yeah. You gotta do that again.
When Brian played, the rap on him, I was really surprised at how hard he competed in practice. Never mind the games, but that was something that surprised us all as coaches.
Come out here for the home games. Crowd is reaching over, giving us high fives. This is where all the fun happens.
Because he came from a program at St. Sebastian's where they had won some New England titles, and he was integral, probably the focal point of that team. And then he came here, and he was just another player. He had to be a skill guy to go up and down the ice, and he wasn't very physical at first. And I think here, when he became that big, strong, physical, dominant line, it was almost like light dawned on Marblehead, and he was, okay, hey.
I don't know if you guys can get a good picture of that, but that was a big part of my development was in there. It was great.
Well, how big were you when you came to BC?
10, 215 maybe.
How big were you when you left?
250.
Were you really? They became a real physical, big, strong line for us. Yeah. And then Brian even got better his sophomore year. That's when I think Brian really started to come into his own as a hockey player. I think two things that Brian was an All-American forward, and he went back and played defense for us the last 10 games of the season. I thought it was a selfless act on his part too.
Yeah, my family, my parents sat right over there, up enough so they could see, but in the maroon seats still, so they were close enough to the action.
These are all our first team All-Americans here. He stayed 4 years, which not many kids do anymore. And now you're seeing the success pay off for him in the National League. And I think that helped Brian's, emotionally, he became more mature. I think that was a great learning process for Brian. Oh, I think for the local kid that grows up here as coming through as a squirt, I think that's a dream come true for those kids. But then reality sets in, and it's if I want to win those championships, if I want to be an integral player here for BC, there's a lot of. At first, he was deer in the headlights, and then as time went on, he said, "Hey, I just don't want to be a part of this. I want to lead this parade." And to his
showing these guys around. Thank you, thank you.
I want tickets and passes to the green room.
Perfect. Right. That's the way to go. So I'm here with my trainer, Brian McDonough.
Brian and I have some mutual friends that...
When you're done, it's the greatest feeling in the world. That alarm goes off the next morning, you gotta do it again. It's like, oh my God. So I'm here with my trainer, Brian McDonough. Why don't you tell the guys how we got into training together?
I think Brian and I have some mutual friends that thought that we'd be a good fit for each other. It's kind of a no-nonsense relationship, so to speak.
Well, working out with Brian has helped a lot because it gives you a mindset that and it's going to get harder.
You can always improve. Okay, whether you're 16 or you're 26, 36, there's always areas of improvement. I think Brian, a lot of it was flexibility, mobility, things that related to his stride.
Getting to the NHL in my first 8 games and I got sent down. Getting there is tough, but staying there is the hard part. You want to establish a career for yourself, it's not easy. It's every single day, it's trying to get better. There's more than that looking for jobs. These guys are trying to push and get into that league because that's every kid's dream is playing hockey. I mean, you just understand that and you try and grow as a player every day and you see just the league's guaranteed.
Number one, especially for a professional athlete, especially in the NHL, you're not in college. You're going to be playing an 80-game-plus season for the most part, at least we hope you are.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And, it's the entire year.
We don't usually do too many static things where you're just kind of meat-headed it out, throwing weight around. It's always got a little twist to it where you're an inch blade and trying to fly around while guys are trying to kill you and take your head off. You gotta be ready to move and keep your balance. A hammer drill, that was specific just to having, strong grip and this face-offs and shooting pucks. It might be underrated to some people, but that's, it's terrible while you're doing it and you want to just jump off the roof of the building while you're in the middle pushing a plate on the ground for 40 yards, but when you're done, it's the greatest feeling in the world. That alarm goes off the next morning, you got to do it again.
Well, I mean, one of the things that's always, made Brian a great fit for my program is been hollering and...
Make a good pass! Let's catch a pass. Hey, hey, hey!
A lot of guys think that's the time to, back off and, Brian's going.
NHL player, it starts with the mental aspect of the game. That's what I'm talking about! To get to the NHL, you have to have some skill. You see guys will their way into the league and make careers out of themselves. That's because mentally they weren't going to be denied. And if you have a teammate like that out, well, you'd take that guy's will over the other guy's skill any day of the week. And you want to be a part of something that's bigger than you, that's going to win the game.
Woo-hoo! Last year was the first year he finally was able to put that whole package together. As he was able to become a great, reliable defensive player, rewarded now.
To see Brian in an original 6 sweater was a very proud moment. I knew how good Brian could be, and a great player, and always steps up when given the opportunity to play. Once he had that opportunity, the coach let him go with it. It was great. He wants to win.
Hockey, I had full confidence he was going to go all the way. And I don't know a lot about hockey, but I do know a lot about Brian. And I think he just wanted to go, and I thought he would go. Right? I never doubted it.
That team. I want to have a long career. I want to play as long as I can. Hopefully after next year I'll have something to tell you about it. because we have goals that we haven't met yet. We want to bring. What else is there? That's winning it all.
Joe, you walked early, you talked early. You were maintenance, though. You were high maintenance. Well, Brian was involved in so many things. I think he played every sport there was to play because he wanted to play so much. And he wanted to join everything. In kindergarten, he had the lead in the play because he had that personality that he wanted to be on top. He wanted to win, he wanted to be in charge, he wanted to be quarterback. When you're much bigger than the rest of the group, you kind of have to keep your eye on so that other people know, no, he's not 15, he's 10 also. Plus, he was very gifted and talented. And so he was maintenance. I think that he was someone that...
This was something wrong with you. We are in Hingham, right outside Boston, Massachusetts, about 15 or 20 miles south of the city. My hometown, where I grew up. This is a great hockey town. Stay with it. So here we are. We're at the home. Dad, door's already open. Door's already open. Hey, Pop. Hello. Hi, guys. Say hi to the cameras. It's my little brother Andrew. This is my sister Julianne. It's her boyfriend Mitch.
Is the dog here?
Yes.
Come here, Viper. Hi.
I'm here with my mom. We'll get right into it. We'll get started. Mom, what kind of kid was I growing up?
You were a big kid. You were 10 pounds when you were born, and by the time you were 2 years old, you were wearing 4-year-old clothing. You were very agile.
I wanted to be successful. I wanted to be the best out of anybody, no matter what. It was summer, spring, winter, fall, didn't matter. I was trying to play as much as I could. Maybe I was just naive as a kid that I just thought I was going to be there.
He'd always been this competitive. He'd always been somebody that gave you 110%.
Right side, slides it through, Boyle scores!
If they wanted him to kill penalties, he was killing penalties. If they wanted him to go out there and play hard, he was going to be able to do that.
Boyle to the net, scores!
If you can't get motivated to make that team and be successful, just because of the high school leagues, there's junior leagues, there's colleges, because of the Bruins in the 70s, and Bobby Orr came in and he was just a hero in this town. All my buddies played. Kids I knew were playing hockey, I played, and that's how I made a lot of friendships. We are now on our way to see my parents' house, where my little brothers and sisters and a few of my older siblings are waiting patiently.
Hey, where are they going? Hey, get back here!
Hey. Say hi.
Hi.
So that's my older brother Chris and my younger brother Timmy in the car. It'll get confusing, but just try and